Hello Rebel and welcome back to my life. So I've been feeling the need to talk about something that's been going on recently and it's kinda crappy, which is not too remarkable these days. It's the whole deal going on with Marvel's current comic book run of Captain America as written by a guy named Nick Spencer, who we'll go into a little bit more detail on in a moment. But for those who aren't up on comics right now, Marvel is basically publishing a storyline where Captain America, our Steve Rogers, is an agent of Hydra and a Nazi. Not only that, but he's always been a Nazi, and the whole last several decades of comic book content were a fake timeline because reasons. There are so many problems with this. Captain America's creators were both Jewish, and Captain America was literally specifically created as anti-Nazi propaganda in a time when Nazis were, you know, exterminating Jewish people. Now see, when comic writers change characters for diversity's sake, a certain portion of the comic fan base rises into a frothing rage because these writers don't seem to understand the character's original conception and the way that they've always been. Well, this is literally retconning Captain America's entire history and making it the opposite of what it was, but that portion of the fan base hasn't risen up in anger. It's so funny. I wonder why that could be. So we keep getting told, mostly by Nick Spencer, that we should wait and see how the story plays out before we judge it. See, that advice doesn't always hold water. Sorry, it just does not. There's certain stories that are just kind of fucked up to tell no matter what, where you're just being a dick for the sake of shock value, and there's no way to wrap up the story that undoes that. Let's say, for example, that Marvel decided to run a storyline where America reinstituted slavery, literally, and all of the black superheroes get rounded up and forced to work on plantations by white superheroes. It literally does not matter if all of the white superheroes were mind-controlled into doing this. You have created storylines, many works of art depicting black people being put through a living hell. You would have to create countless images showing crimes against humanity that harken back to some of the darkest chapters in this country's history, and those images don't just go away. Especially in today's culture of rising white nationalism, there are going to be people who get those images printed on merchandise and wear them for years to come. And what's happening here isn't even like some alternate reality thing where Captain America goes to another universe and meets the Nazi Captain America. This is our Captain America, who has been changed into a Nazi. Again, this emboldens real Nazis who are really living in real America right now. They are loving what's going on. And this is all bad enough, but aside from the action itself, Nick Spencer's reaction to the controversy has been... His reactions to fan complaints have ranged from condescending to insensitive to really problematic. I mean, our society has the trope of the angry black woman, right? But a much more common sight in my experience is the self-righteous, indignant white man, and his Twitter feed is a perfect example of this. Anyway, all this stuff sucks because I love Marvel. They make great comics, and I really wish they would take action on the very real distress they are causing to a portion of their fan base. But even if they didn't want to take any actions against their creators for the comic itself, which I completely understand, they shouldn't let them act this way on social media. It's just not good for anyone. Needless to say, I'm not going to be reading Secret Empire, even though I've tried to be a good Marvel reader, especially where the big events are concerned. I try to stay up on all that sort of stuff, but I can't give money to this. And I'm going to do really the only thing that we can do as fans when something like this happens, which is just keep reading the series that get it right. Series like Wasp, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and so on. Whether or not you're discouraged by this direction Marvel has gone in, remember that it is not the whole company. Remember there are a lot of really great creators working for them who are doing really great things. Keep supporting people who do it right, and if you yourself are a creator, learn from mistakes like this and learn how to do things better. That's it for today, Rebel. Check out yesterday's VEDA video right up there, or check out my Patreon to see my secret weekend videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!